You know, when I look around at all the entrepreneurs who are grinding it out, spending 70 to 80 hours per week growing their business, you have to ask yourself the question, at what cost? Hi, my name's Tim Uchuk, and in this podcast, we're going to be exploring the tools, tactics, and strategies for crushing it and scaling your business without making the ultimate sacrifice of your time and freedom. Hey, what's up everyone? Tim Uchuk here, coming to you from my wife's expedition. Just out running some errands here on Vancouver Island, where it's definitely winter. Winter here looks like lots of rain and lots of windstorms, which I actually don't mind. I will trade that for the minus 30 weather anytime. So I've got about 10 minutes, thought I would jump on, and I wanted to share a daily strategy that if you implement can give you an instant boost to your average day and your average week. And this comes as top of mind. We had our weekly coaching call yesterday for our Perfect Week coaching program for those of you who are in it, and was chatting with one of our new clients who just jumped on board this week. And we were just talking about the frustration of having everything sitting on your shoulders and what that feels like. And this is a particularly tough time of year for him and for his business. And so we were chatting with it, and it made me think about what I want to share with you, which is a daily ritual which will help just boost a little bit every day to make your tomorrows a little bit better than your todays, so that over the course of a couple months and a couple years, you're gonna start to see some real traction as you start to look back. So what I'm talking about is a daily ritual at the end of your day. Typically I do this in bed at night, and it's a reminder on my calendar. So it pops up on my phone as a reminder at the same time every night, 8 o'clock after the kids are in bed. There's a reminder for me to do my daily review. And before I get into the daily review, and that's the strategy I'm sharing with you here today, is if you look at, and I just want to take a step back and really define what I think is the perfect life. The perfect life. We talk about the perfect week because ideally, if we can perfect our weeks, then that's going to lead to, perfecting our life, right? On average. And so for me, I've always fixated, rather than goals, I fixate on core value alignment. What do I mean by that? Well, when we create goals in life, and it's funny, if you think back to the goals that you had when you were, let's say, in your 20s versus your 30s versus your 40s, they're always changing, and that's okay. They always kind of will change, because the goals are servants to your values. And what I mean by that is, for those of you that run and own businesses, one of the things that is probably top in terms of your values is having an impact. Another thing that you value is probably having the freedom of, and the freedom from, and the freedom to. So in other words, if you wanted to take off the odd Friday, you could do that on your own terms. So these are typical things that entrepreneurs value, but behind the goals that we set for ourselves are the objective is to pull us further into alignment of our values. Now, another thing that's top of my value is health and family. So relationship with my family. And so, just to put this into perspective, let's say that all of my goals and my objectives were pulling me towards making more money, but at the sacrifice of the health and the family. Well, I would have a big bank account, but I would feel miserable because I'd be out of alignment, right? So our goals really are only there to serve, to pull us into alignment with our values. So I hope that makes sense. And so when we look at the other piece is, now let's look at, picture a scatter chart. If you've ever pictured a scatter chart, on the horizontal you've got time, and on the vertical, let's say those are your days. If you were to complete a day, and at the end of the day you were to rate it in terms of your values. So did you accomplish what you set out to accomplish at the end of today? Did your team members, did they set out, they had their goals, they had their objectives for the day? Did they achieve those? Were you able to serve your clients at the highest level? So all of those measures of success within your business, rate those, right? From low to high. Now look at things like if your health is important. Did you drink enough water? Did you stay hydrated? Did you not eat crap? Did you spend time with your kids? Did you spend time with your family? Did you take time for your mental health to unplug? So all of these actions that are behind your values, right? Because if you're drinking water, if you're eating healthy, if you're exercising, if you're spending time with your family, those are the things that you value, and therefore those activities are going to rate high at the end of your day, right? So getting back to the scatter chart, if you were to plot the rating of your day based on those criteria, and behind those criteria are your values, we're not machines, so sometimes you're going to have a bad day and a bad week. We're all humans, we all have them. But why I'm saying a scatter chart is, on average, if you were to, for over the next 7 days, to plot the rating of your days over 7 days, it's going to look like a scatter chart. And right now, if you were to make improvements, steady improvements over the next, let's say, 90 days, you're going to see all those little dots, all those little points. On a poor day, the dot is going to be lower on the scale, right? And on a really good day, the dot's going to be higher. So they're going to be all over the place. But if you're taking time to review each day and implement small little improvements every single day, you're going to notice that if you're to draw a trend line through those dots, that trend line should be going up and to the right, right? And we want to be kind to ourselves when we do have a terrible day and we do slip, because we are humans, right? So if you go through a fast food drive-through and you eat like crap one day, well, your health is going to be a low score, and so that dot is going to be a little bit lower down on the scale. But on average, if you're to look over the course of 7 days, 14 days, hopefully the cluster of those dots on the scatter chart are going to start to increase when you implement a daily review. So what is that? Well, again, I said in my calendar at 8 o'clock every day, this takes me 5 to 10 minutes. And we go through, first off, I start with my gratitude, and I like to list out 3 things that I'm grateful for every single day. The reason I like to do that is because there's so much stuff that's out of our control. There's so much stuff that is not satisfying, especially when you're running a business. All we do is fight fires and solve problems every day. That's what running a business is. And so if we fixate on the problems, then everything out there we're going to feel like a hammer. Everything out there is a nail, right? So gratitude calibrates your brain by fixating on the things that are going right. A lot of things might be going wrong, but the fact that you're breathing, for example, shows that a lot of things are actually going right. So we calibrate the brain, 3 things of gratitude, daily review, and then we look over the day and we say, what went well today? And list out 3 things that went well today. Now, the third question, the third piece to the review is, if I could do the day over again, what would I do differently? And so you're rewinding the clock, and you're very intentionally thinking through, maybe I didn't set aside an hour to actually focus on my high value activities. And when I did set aside, let's say you did set aside the hour, but I left my phone on and it kept ringing notifications and I didn't get anything done. So what would I do differently tomorrow? I would probably go into airplane mode. I'd probably block out the hour and really try to focus to get that thing done. So you're asking yourself that question, and then for tomorrow you're going to set your sights and you're going to, that's a little bit of a Kaizen, which stands for continuous improvement. So you've just identified a small way for you to make your tomorrow a little bit better. You might have eaten like crap and you don't feel very good at the end of the day, so maybe that's what you would do differently. Okay, so you implement that into your tomorrow, and guess what's going to happen? That little dot, as you implement that small improvement for tomorrow, that little dot on average is going to start to trend up, right? And then the day after it might be low again. So you might fall off the cart, but on average, these little dots, if you implement a daily review, so gratitude, what went well, acknowledge what went well. If you could do the day over, what would you do differently? and then make a commitment to implement that small improvement for tomorrow. Keep doing that every day, and then you're going to start to see that trend line go up and to the right, and it's going to feel small at first, but not only are you going to see those little dots on average start to increase, so that's your rating for the day in terms of the activities that are pulling you into alignment of your values. Not only that, but your habits are going to shift. So when your habits shift, you're going to start becoming a different person. Your thinking is going to change. It's going to be easier to implement these little improvements because you're going to start to internalize them. You're going to start to really experience the momentum from these little shifts, and it's going to start to compound over time. So again, just to recap, we're talking about a daily review, getting into the habit of doing this at the end of the day. I like to do it. I've got it in my calendar at 8 o'clock at night. And for the daily review, 3 things you're grateful for, right? We want to really strengthen that gratitude muscle so that we can have a better mindset, be in a better state of mind for when we're leading and dealing with problems. This is going to help to strengthen your ability to make good decisions and be a strong leader if you strengthen that gratitude muscle. So do that on a daily basis. You're going to notice, by the way, as you go through it on a daily basis, 3 per day, you're going to start running out of things. And so you're going to start focusing on the smaller things, and that's a good thing. For example, when I do my gratitude, I'm thankful that I have toes. I'm thankful that I have eyes to see with. So you start running out of things, and then you start to realize that there's a lot of things that you can be grateful for. So it's a really, really good exercise. And by the way, us entrepreneurs are really hard on ourselves naturally, right? As soon as you achieve some big goal, typically most of us are like, what's next? Great, what's next? So we don't take the time to really acknowledge those wins, and exercising and strengthening that gratitude muscle is going to make it easier for you to be grateful when you achieve these goals, which isn't that what it's about, right? To sit in and acknowledge when you're actually accomplishing things. And if we don't have that muscle in place, then you're not going to be able to, you're going to be miserable in the future when you achieve the goals that you think are going to bring you happiness. They won't, unless this is in place. So 3 things you're grateful for. What went well today? If you could do the day over again, what would you do differently? Commit to making those changes tomorrow. Run it as an experiment and rinse and repeat tomorrow. Keep doing this. You're going to notice your average days are going to increase on the ratings scale. And over time, you're going to transform your mind. You're going to transform your results. You're going to transform your momentum. And this is a small thing, but it's a big thing at the same time. So I hope that's helpful. I am at my destination. Otherwise, I look forward to hopefully talking to you guys soon and hopping on here a little bit more frequently, hopefully in the near future. Talk to you guys soon. Hey, Tim Uchuk here, and real quick, if you enjoyed this podcast episode, if you could take a couple quick seconds to give it a rating, it would be very much appreciated. And secondly, if you're looking for more tools and strategies on how you can crush it in life and business, just head on over to bookwithtim.com, where I've put together a free case study which shows you how to unlock unprecedented freedom today by using the 2 power levers. Just head on over to bookwithtim.com. Until next time, wishing you success and freedom in your business. Cheers.